say the time of heroes is over.
Alright, number 10 with Tanner's number 5 pick, and that's the Avengers project. What do you want to see from it, Tanner?
I want it to be... Now, I mean, it's already been announced, but it might as well not have been, because we haven't heard nothing in years. But I want it to be like a game kind of in the vein of like the Batman Arkham games, in that, like, you know, it tells a very deep story, and it does like those characters justice, but like a co-op, you know, maybe like 2 or 3 player co-op, so you get to experience it with your friends. Like a decent,
like Ultimate Alliance meets Arkham.
Yeah, maybe not like from a top-down perspective. Like you actually get to play it like third person, you know. Because from what we did hear about the game, I remember reading about it a couple times. Like the Avengers are broken up in the game, so maybe like you each start off as a different Avenger, and then the culmination of the game is like you all meet up, and then, you know, you fight this big bad or something. I don't know, but I want to see, you know, and it's made from the guys who made Tomb Raider games, the new ones, which those games are pretty good. And I feel like, you know, in light of Avengers Endgame and like the new Marvel Spider-Man that came out a couple months ago, I feel like people are just dying to hear more like stuff about this game and just more Marvel in general in terms of like a video game front. I know I am, you know, I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but I love a Marvel game.
They just showed something and didn't do anything with it.
And like I didn't get to experience Spider-Man because, you know, I'm Xbox. Yeah, but the game looked great.
It was not exclusive either.
Yeah, and I don't want any of these games to be exclusives. To be honest, at least not.
They just need to get rid of exclusivity altogether, especially now that Microsoft and Sony are actually partnering. Maybe those like square differences, and actually from here on out they won't have exclusives.
Yeah.
And so have it less timed.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what I want to see. Something in the vein of like a Batman Arkham games, or like the new Spider-Man game, but just, you know, Avengers.
At this point, the Arkham games is like the what you want for a superhero game.
Yeah, even Spider-Man 2018 took inspiration, you know. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. Those are good games. Like the only complaint I ever had about the Arkham games, and it was the most recent one, was like the amount of times you had to use the fucking Batmobile. Like, but that's not even just a rag on the games. Like those are still great games. I'd like to see the Avengers game, something similar to that. Maybe co-op, you know, to experience it with your friends. I'm a big nut for like customizability, so being able to customize the heroes and different like types of suits, or, you know, like there's so much to pull from in that lore, and you haven't seen a good Marvel game, with the exception of the new Spider-Man game. Yeah, and
since Ultimate Alliance, actually.
Yeah,
it really hasn't been downhill.
I'd just like to see something like as quality as the Batman and Spider-Man game, but for the Avengers. And I think Crystal Dynamics might be pretty good people to do it.
And whatever they do, don't do what they're doing. Don't let them do what they do with Captain America and Ultimate Alliance 3. They literally, I don't know why they do this, but all the Ultimate Alliance and everything that's not the MCU, which I'm down with it, that's what Captain America's like. But he's super, super cheesy. Like, he has the voice lines and stuff. I don't know if you've seen it, Tanner, but the Ultimate Alliance 3, he's just like, oh, America this and America that, with like the most like brothel chin sound and voice you can get. Yeah. Which isn't bad because it's Captain America, but like, don't force like this like two-dimensional Cap.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is like, I hope that the people that are playing these Marvel characters are good, like good enough to portray that character. I don't want to say to rival the actors, because I don't think you can, but to do those parts as justice as the actors have done.
Because I would say to you, like, the Iron Man and Captain America weren't nearly as big as they were or were before till 2008.
Yeah,
as it's a fact. Even though they're the main character, Batman and Superman from Marvel, they weren't as popular because they were two-dimensional. Iron Man's gotten a lot better with it, with his drinking problem and like him actually getting fleshed out as a character. And Robert Downey Jr. also helped the character, so did Chris Evans. but they always just go with this one-dimensional or two-dimensional, you know, I'm just gonna say the same way I am because I'm Captain America and Iron Man. You actually, like, the Arkham games and the Spider-Man game, you actually get to see them, like, age and, like, learn instead of just staying the same exact way the entire game.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to see the Avengers project as my number one on my
more
list.
Details, like even like it don't come out this year, which it should.
Yeah,
It's been 2
definitely.
years.
I don't even want like a release date this year. I just want to know more about the thing because we got a vague trailer in E3 2017, and not even a lot of information since then. We just know, like I said, that the Avengers are split up in this game, and that's all we know. And that trailer is all we got. And it just, I want more information. You know, a release date. It doesn't have to release this year. Just give me a release date or a release window. You know, some more information. What the game's gonna play like. You know, stuff like that. What makes it, you know, something that I'd want to get. But like I said, I feel like now is a good time to do it because it's still, everybody's still hyped about Marvel. Like I said, with the success of Endgame and, you know, stuff like that. I feel like now is it's prime time. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not past due, but like it's getting there. Like you can't just come out and say something and just not go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
Alright, with that said, that's our number 10 entry. I agree with that. I was had that on my list as well. But like Square Enix is not like the best at like actually getting projects done fast, but the quality's there. So I can't wait to see what they do with it.
Yep.
They're not Unity, not Unity, but Ubisoft is dropping out a game every year for the same title, which they do it good. That's not what Square Enix is about. Alright, number 9, I'm not going to take long on this one. I don't know if Tanner doesn't like the games at all, but it's the Need for Speed remaster / backwards compatibility. They came out with remaster Burnout Paradise, which was okay. In my opinion, Need for Speed Pro Street's the best Need for Speed. Alright, number 9, I'm not going to take long on this one. I don't know if Tanner doesn't like the games at all, but it's the Need for Speed remaster / backwards compatibility. They came out with remaster Burnout Paradise, which was okay. In my opinion, Need for Speed Pro Street's the best Need for Speed. It's ahead of its time, but everybody is wanting a Need for Speed Underground, the PS2 era Need for Speed to be remastered, which I wouldn't mind, or it's backwards compatible. That's simply it. I just want to see something about it. EA, I think they have a lot of good older titles. The newer titles aren't the best, so I think they should like actually sell into that and maybe it can backwards compatible.
15 minutes are done.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and go to number 9, and that's your Harry Potter RPG.
Yeah, again, this is kind of in the same aspect of Avengers. We don't know a lot about it. There's a leaked video from like an investor's call from months ago, and it was basically this Harry Potter open world RPG to create your character and explore like an open world Hogwarts and that stuff like that. And anybody who knows me knows that kind of stuff is right up my alley. All the Harry Potter games that have come out have not been good, or not been very good. There hasn't been many, but I want to see like a good in that universe, because I feel like the Harry Potter universe, if there's any game that should be, or any movie or novel should be adapted to a video game, I feel like Harry Potter's like perfect, because you got like it's fantasy, you got magic, you got all sorts of kind of stuff.
It's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's just like Lord of the Rings.
I think any of the Warner Brothers properties should be games.
Yeah,
like too much
Shadow
quality
Warrior
there.
Games are phenomenal, and I'd like to see something. And like I'm a pretty big fan of Harry Potter, but it's not my favorite thing. And it's something like, I've read the books, but I'd like to see what like whoever these developers are, what they can do with the universe. How they can make it different from the movies and the books and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to see this Harry Potter RPG. I think that'd be pretty fun. You know, if it's anything like I'm thinking like The Witcher, you know, like I said, open world RPG, you get to, or maybe something like Bully, you get to go to like potions class and you know, wand class, whatever. Like you get to go to classes and stuff, which sounds dull, you know. Oh, who wants to go to school in a video game? But it's
For
Hogwarts, you know. Like
as it's not like Elder Scrolls Online, it'll be perfect.
yeah, I don't want it to be like an MMO or nothing. I want it to be just like a straight up like hardcore single player RPG, like The Witcher, just in like Harry Potter's universe. I feel like that'd be really cool.
Even if
From
it's
what else?
co-op, I wouldn't mind it. Just don't
Yeah,
fill
like
it with
2 or 3 player co-op
expansions
again. Like yeah, I don't want it to be an MMO. I don't think that would. I mean, that might work for that kind of thing, but I want like a true single player Harry Potter game where I can just sit down and experience the world like by myself or with a couple of friends without having to worry about, you know, if I don't play the game for a while, having to fall behind like in an MMO. You can't really take breaks from MMOs because there's such like a
That's
yeah.
the number one culprit.
And I want
Like
you
if
know,
you literally miss like a month in that game, you might as well not even play it anymore.
yeah, that goes for any MMO really. Which that's not like it's not to say that those are bad games or bad mechanics. It's just it's not something that I want to experience for something like Harry Potter. Although I feel like that universe might also benefit from an MMO. I just don't want this to be an MMO. But yeah, like the character customization and stuff that we saw looked pretty good. They released a little bit of information from the leak. It was like it takes place.
Yeah, wasn't there a leak?
Yeah, it takes place years before like the Harry Potter that we know. It's like in the 1940s or 50s, and Harry Potter that we know is like in the 90s or something. But yeah, I'd like to see something like Witcher-esque Harry Potter game, like hardcore RPG. Explore Hogwarts, go to class, create your character, all that kind of cool stuff. So I feel like Harry Potter will be pretty good.
I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, but I think Harry Potter is definitely one of the series where it will, like, if it was a game, or a fully fledged game, and not just like one-dimensional, like the straight, oh, here's a story, play it, get it over with.
Yeah,
I feel like it could make me a harder fan.
and this goes for
I
all the
don't hate
games.
Harry
that we're-
Potter, but I'm not the biggest fan of it.
like
Yeah.
we're talking about. Like, I want to see them to continue to update the game. Like, you know, I don't want to bring Fortnite into it because it's Fortnite, but they've done a good job at keeping the game current. You know, adding events, adding like you know new guns or whatever. I'd like to see single player games kind of do that thing. You know, add like events in the game. Like you know, if there's a like Halloween, for example, like Rockstar does it for GTA every Christmas. They add like snow to Los Santos and you know all this other cool stuff for like these holidays. It not only makes it more like immersive, but it also makes it more enjoyable as a player because you get to go back to that game and see it like you know differently. It's kind of like
differently, yeah.
what Forza Horizon 4 did. You know, they had the different seasons. Like you're seeing the same game, but it's in winter one minute and
You
then the
wouldn't
next
see the
minute
same
it's in
races.
autumn. Yeah, like there's different dynamics you got to worry about. Like you got to get a car that handles well in snow, or you know whatever the case may be. I just feel like you got to keep your players engaged, especially now, and like today's like gaming climate. You know, it's hard to keep people's attention. Especially
like, I hate
with, like,
Fortnite, but Fortnite does do a good job. Like they don't have a story mode; it's literally just online,
yeah,
and
they
they
still
constantly just bring people in.
they do a good job at like keeping their game current, and I want to see something like that just in a single player form. And like I said, the Harry Potter thing might be good to do it. That's what I said. Any of these games that we talk about would be like able to do it. But,
Don't just let it die.
yeah, don't
like,
release it and a couple of DLC
Don't have a
things.
moment and let it shine,
Like another good example
and
is
just let it go.
you know, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, but this isn't me being biased, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey, every month they've added like a new like side mission to do, and new gear to the game and stuff, and that's just a single player game. Like I want something like that for Harry Potter, Witcher-esque hardcore RPG, without making this go on forever. That's what I want to see.
Number 7, my second highest. It's not nothing huge. I love Injustice 2. I love Injustice 1. I love MK9. MKX is okay, but their DLC release schedule was like a little behind, and I feel like they were literally waiting this time for E3 to reveal characters, because I thought this year they're gonna have a huge list not huge, like big name people. Like for example, Pennywise has a movie coming out, which is it. In case when they've been under the rock for a while. And like apparently they finally got their hands on Spawn fully, even though they had him like 3 years ago. And like there have the potential of like being John Wick and all these cool characters you can see in MK11. MK11 is brand new. Like it came out like last month, April, man, yeah. And I love the game, but it hasn't like fully. Anyways, it hasn't like fully like piqued my interest like Injustice did. Injustice, like I was addicted to it. I'm not gonna lie to you, like the first 3 days it was out, I didn't sleep those 3 days. I literally just stayed on the game the entire time. Okay, it's fun and all this. It is like the characters make it. So yeah, that's it for number 7, MK11. I hope they bring something new. Like maybe bring 2v2s in. Everybody wants 2v2s, but they just won't do it for some reason. They had it in MK9, which is phenomenal. MK9 is a freaking top tier game for its time. Alright, at number 6, we have Fable 4. If you want to talk on that for a minute.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this one short. It was one of the first games that I remember like playing with my father fully, so it's kind of sentimental to me. I played the very first Fable in 2004. They were re-released in 2011. I played through it. It's backwards compatible. I'm playing through it again. Fable 2 is phenomenal. It's a little dated, like graphics and gameplay wise, but it's still a great story. Fable 3 was, also a really good game, and I feel like it's been so long. Fable 3 came out in 2011, and then they had like that Fable Legends game where it was like a co-op, like kind of like Evolve, like somebody was in charge of like the enemies and stuff. But it got canceled, and then like you had a Connect Fable game. I just feel like Fable's been getting kind of shafted these last couple of years, and I just want like a true, like, just Fable, like back to its roots, how it used to be. I love Fable. I love it's an RPG game for people that don't know, but it's not like a traditional RPG. You don't you get to make choices and stuff, but it's not typically dialogue. You get to like make choices that affect the world around you, because oftentimes in Fable you play like royalty, like you're the king of what the continent is called, Albion. And there's been a theme throughout all the games, and Fable 3 kind of left off in a good spot where they could pick up the story. And rumor is that Playground Games, people who make Forza Horizon 4 and all the other Forza games, are developing the game, which is kind of weird, because they would just make racing games. But I'd like to see, their graphics engine is really good. The seasons thing that they got going on in Forza, as I mentioned, is really good. I'd like to see that incorporated in a game like Fable. I feel like, I'd like to see how these people who make games can develop a story, something that's like gripping and, retain some of that like satire comedy that Fable always does. There's a big joke in Fable that you get to like. It's just comical. It's kind of a children's game, but it's not at the same time. And I feel like it's time for a new Fable, dude. It's been too long.
Yeah, I agree. I'm interested in it because I love Playground Games. I love Forza Horizon. They only do Horizon, and I feel even with NetherRealm, even though NetherRealm was like last minute thing, I want these two developers to like express their skills onto a different genre of game. Cause I feel like they do really good with it.
Yeah, I'd like to see what they can do with something like that. And I feel like Fable, is a good place to start. They know how Microsoft operates, considering they're like, Playground Game makes Forza, which is Microsoft exclusive. Again, like I said, I don't really want exclusives, but Fable is a Microsoft IP, so odds are it's probably never going to be on PlayStation, at least not on release. But that's neither here nor there. I'd like to see, like I said, like a traditional fucking Fable, back to its roots. Fable 4. It's been 8 years, 7 years, whatever, and I want a good Fable game. I just want to sit down and slam a good Fable game, like I used to, because I miss it. I miss the world. I miss Albion. The character development, the characters in that game are memorable, the world, all kinds of stuff, man. And I just feel like now is the time to bring it back into light.
Especially since it's been rumored heavy, like everybody's been talking about it. Everybody knows it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like a rumor no more. It's kind of like a thing. Like all the stars are aligning. Number 5. This one's high on my list because a couple months ago, I for sure thought this game was dead in the water. After years of nothing, like nothing of it. But apparently, they came out and said Dead Island 2 is still being worked on. And that's my number 5 right now. I hope it is. One, I'm not putting Dead Island on the top 10 list because it's already been announced. We've already seen gameplay. I hope Dead Island, they're actually like putting their all into it because the first game had like special things about it, even though it was kind of clunky. At least now it's clunky. Back then it didn't feel clunky to me at all. But I hope
didn't age well.
Definitely didn't age well at all, even on the remaster.
Yeah.
I hope they bring back the 4-player co-op, but I hope it's not just like a slice and dice thing like it has been. I hope the story is more compelling, and I don't mind if they take more of a comedic route, like Dead Rising, but like keep it like just as gory. That's all I want to say on that one. It's not much to say. I hope it's true. We actually get to see something. That's why it's on the list for me. I want to see at least gameplay or another trailer because there was gameplay when the first trailer came out, and that was 5 years ago. But apparently it's been through like 4 different like restarts. Number 4, Splinter Cell.
Oh boy, that's another thing for me. Splinter Cell. I'm a huge fan of Splinter Cell. All the way back to the very first one. I was kind of young when it came out, but over the years I played them all again and again and again. And I just, like I said, there's never been a stealth game that has done stealth as well as Splinter Cell. Over the years they've kind of taken more of like an action route with like Blacklist and Conviction, but it was just enough stealth for me to be like, okay, this is wicked cool. I like this. And like Ghost Recon Wildlands had a Sam Fisher event. Seeing that character again. I love Sam Fisher. Seeing him in the game, hearing Michael Ironside return to the character was really cool. Because in Blacklist you didn't have Michael Ironside because he was going through some health issues and stuff. But seeing him back in the game and Sam Fisher, like I say in the flesh, but you know what I mean. Seeing him in a new generation game is like, it was insane for me. And thinking back about all these games that I used to play, like these Splinter Cell games, the stealth was something that just really clicked with me. The story and the characters and the lore in that world was all just really well done. It's one of Ubisoft's best like franchises. I sound like a Ubisoft fanboy because a lot of my favorite games are from Ubisoft, but that's just because
Ubisoft has a lot
I guess they got lucky.
Good games.
Yeah, they got a lot of good IP, but yeah, I feel like it's the same thing with Fable. It's been too long without a Splinter Cell game, a traditional Splinter Cell game. None of these like character appearances and stuff. I want a full-on, Sam Fisher. I'd even like if people like, since Michael Ironside's so long or so old rather, I feel like maybe bringing in like a new gameplay mechanic of like Sam Fisher training a new like 4th echelon recruit. That way Michael Ironside gets to take it easy because he's an older guy. It's just voice acting, but that can get pretty tiresome, I'm sure, especially for somebody who's old and who has like health issues like he does. Maybe Sam Fisher teaching a new recruit at 4th echelon. It would be even
a new generation.
Pretty cool.
For
like bringing in a new generation of players. You're introduced to this new character, but for older people that used to play the older games, you're introduced, or you still get like some of the older characters who made you love the series. I feel like would be really cool. And like I said, I just feel like it's it's due time for a new Splinter Cell, man.
And the best. I think the special mission in this game was really cool. Wildlands. I thought it was
another thing about
interesting.
Splinter Cell is like, it's kind of like Metal Gear Solid. Like those are two of the very first like stealth games that were like truly hardcore stealth. And he even mentioned Solid Snake in this game, Sam Fisher. And I feel like, we got a recent Metal Gear Solid game within the last couple of years. I feel like the same kind of treatment needs to happen with Splinter Cell, And
I just want to see them, like, the consoles are limited back then. They can only do so much stealth. I feel like if the game is completely focused on nothing but stealth, it could be a top 10 game all time.
Yeah, I
For
feel
sure.
like they should definitely take advantage of the new hardware. Even if they do announce it, I don't think that a new Splinter Cell will come out on this generation. It'll probably be the next generation, considering that's what's right around the corner. But even so, I just want a new, like, an announcement, so I have something to look forward to. You know, Red Dead 2 came out, so I don't really have a big game that I'm looking forward to, and I just want something to do, so, like, you know, to hook me, that gets me excited for, like, a release date. Which I'm excited for games coming out, but you know what I mean, like.
Yeah.
There's just some games that you care more about than others, and I want that. I feel like Splinter Cell or Fable, or which almost spoil my next game, but those ones are the ones that I'm mostly looking forward to.
Number 3 for me is Resident Evil 3 Remake. So, surprisingly to me, last E3 they announced, well, they showed it, the trailer, and it came out really fast. Sadly, I haven't beat it yet because I've been, you know, I think a lot of you I've maxed out my computer storage, 500 gigabytes of video, and I gotta go through it, and I haven't got to record it all yet. But it was cool for me to see like all the people on Twitter reacting to Resident Evil 2 and Mr. X, not knowing that a good probably 85% of them have never experienced Nemesis. They think Mr. X is terrifying, which he is. Like, he makes your heart pound. Like, makes your heart pound, and like that game, the game's creepy. I know, like they did a real good job, like really close, like quarters. And they make you like a good job of like when there's liquor around, it actually worries you. Like Resident Evil 5, like I love Resident Evil 5. It's one of my favorite games of all time too. But that game, you literally just like liquor, you're like, oh, no problem. And you just slay through it. This game actually makes you like fear and like want to avoid people and monsters. And I feel like Resident Evil 3.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go
You
ahead.
can finish. No, you can finish. I was just gonna say, like, you brought up the 85% people never playing the game. I never played the game until the remake. I didn't play Resident Evil until Resident Evil 4 came out years ago. And I just recently started playing the new games with you, you know, with the co-op and stuff. And going back to, like, that game's roots, you know, especially coming from, like, Resident Evil 5, which was a good game. Resident Evil 6 was alright. But, like, going back to that game's roots, like, the true, like, confined spaces and the, you know, just the zombies. It wasn't, like, big-ass monsters, yeah. And it was just, like, it was really, like, I was, like, scared, truly, at some points. It was really cool to, like, feel that, you know? And they did a really good job at, like, making the game current. You know, the controls are really good. They weren't, like, the tank controls like Resident Evil's Classic 4, you know?
The freaking...
The graphics were phenomenal.
The like, the original games, like, people don't like them that much. Like, they're hard to play, yes, because the camera angles. The camera angles add, like, a whole new effect to it.
Yeah.
But, like, when they had it the third person, I was thinking to myself, like, wow, this is gonna like take away from like all like the claustrophobia you're gonna feel in the hallways when like when you're like one with a zombie.
Free camera.
5 and 4, you don't feel that.
Where'd he go? And that's
Well,
the
like,
other thing is, like, my favorite character
X
is
is
Leon.
terrifying, dude.
And playing Leon when he was like at his beginning
Man.
was really cool. Like, it was perfect for me. Gosh damn. I really liked Resident Evil 2, and I hope they remake Resident Evil 3 because I'd like to play that game too. Because I never did. I started at Resident Evil 4.
And I hope they did one the same way. Like, one already had a remaster.
You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
But it's still the above corner camera angles. Like, I hope they go back and do Chris like that. Do I hope they make the same character model as Chris from Resident Evil 7? No, I hate that character model.
I want Resident Evil 5 Chris. Yeah, hashtag
I want
Chris
Resident Evil
Redfield.
5 Chris that's a little bit slimmer. They make it look a little more realistic. As long as they get the arms, that's all that matters.
Yeah, as long as he's punching boulders, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. But, like, Nemesis, like, Mr. X, he's scary and all. Like, you hear him walking down the hallway. But a lot of people never experience Nemesis. Literally, you take Mr. X, and then you put him on roids, and then you get that man a minigun and a rocket launcher. And that's what you have in Resident Evil 2. Just imagine that.
That sounds terrifying.
In those enclosed places, all of a sudden walking down the hall, boom, bust through the wall.
You motherfuckers is crazy. Look at that big motherfucker got a rocket launcher.
rocket launcher, his minigun. And his main purpose is to kill you. You're Jill Valentine, and his main purpose is to kill staff members, and he just won't leave you alone. You can't kill him. Well, you can in Resident Evil 2.
Yeah,
like, it's super hard.
Terrifying.
It's awful, dude. Like, it's amazing, but it's super creepy.
Yeah, I'd love to play that. Yeah,
All right, at number
I really
2,
enjoyed it too.
BioShock 4.
This is, again, like Fable 4 spin-off stuff for me. I love the BioShock series. I have since it released. I remember when the very first BioShock released, I was not into like first-person shooters, like story-driven first-person shooters that weren't like, you know, I was young, they weren't like COD or nothing. I had no interest in them. But I remember popping in BioShock 1 one day, one of my family members let me borrow it, and I just fell in love. You know, again, that series is probably one of the ones that I get the credit to making me love, like, you know, a good story and good characters and a good, like, you know, just lore around the world, and like that game has. And I'd love, you know, BioShock Infinite was the last game. Again, it's been a long time since that came out, like 2013, I think. And that game was, I liked it. It was very, like, people said it was mediocre, but I enjoyed it. You know, it was a good deviation from, you know, the other two games, but it retained what made BioShock BioShock. And I'd just like to see a new BioShock in the new generation, you know, with Ken Levine taking the helm, because they said that he would be on the like lead designer again, which he was for the other 3 games. And I just feel like people who haven't really experienced BioShock games, they're always pretty good at making the games accessible for people who never played the other ones. They explain enough of what happened where you would understand, but they also made it to where if you did play them, then you appreciated it a little bit more than like normal. And I think it's, you know, like I said, due time for a new BioShock, man. It's been a long time. I think it's a good time to bring it out. It offers, like, it's a very interesting take on, like, shooters. You know, you get things called plasmids, which are kind of like superpowers in one hand. You can shoot like flames out of your hand, or ice, or, you know, telekinesis, and you can like use those powers to manipulate the environment in these levels. And then the other hand, you got like a melee weapon or a gun, and you can customize these guns to, like, you know, you can pick up a shotgun barrel and put it on like your pistol, and you can shoot shotgun slugs out of the pit. Like, it's insane. You'd have to play the games to really, like, get a full grasp of what it offers, but the story and stuff like that is something that I feel like everybody should experience, and I feel like BioShock 4 is, like I said, it's overdue, man. We need a BioShock 4.
And I will be playing the whole series on my channel, by the way. Our number 1 pick, the new Rocksteady game.
Which, another fun fact, is technically rumored to be the Harry Potter game that I talked about.
Which I hope not. I do.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
Well,
Like, I hope the Harry Potter game
a
comes
DC
out.
one.
Yeah, and I hope they come out with, like, another game. But a new Batman game, yeah. The Court of Owls one that's been leaked. It's also been leaked that they're working on a Justice League game. Or rumored, I shouldn't say
Yeah.
leaked, it's been rumored.
Even the Red Hood one, bro. That one surprisingly caught up some like storm on the Twitter. Everyone's talking out about it. Like I was like, bro, if you think about it, if they made like a triple co-op campaign with the Dark Trinity, bro, that'd be sick.
I'd love to see a new like Batman-esque game from them. I love the other games. Batman's superheroes.
Batman game that focuses on the Bat family.
Yeah, any game that can play in that
just not Batman
universe that revolves around Batman or whatever would be really cool.
Like, they need co-op, dude. They really just need it. We've been talking about it for years, me and you. Imagine this. Mini campaigns, or even as a main campaign. You get on the new Batman game with your friend. Batman being the main character. You select a character from 20 plus characters they have with individual movesets. So you can be like, oh, I want to be Red Hood, I'll be Red Hood. And Tanner can be Green Arrow, or Nightwing, or Batman. And just imagine playing through like a whole campaign with your friend. That would be super sick. With a level progress system, and like just have an open world. Like don't force like campaign all the way down our throats, but it's like let us like run around that with our friend. Or even Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman's a good pick for a game. I think taking her like speed and ability into like an Arkham style game will be interesting to see. Well, the shield slides and all that. I really want a Superman game. They're like, I don't really want a Superman game. I do, but I don't.
I don't want a Superman game.
Keep it grounded, like Green Arrow and Red Hood and.
I just feel like there's better characters to make a game for.
And that formula, there's so many better characters.
Yeah.
Well, that's our wish list for E3. Thank you for watching. Comment below what you want to see from E3.